Let's talk about sleep. The National Sleep Foundation claims that we are currently in the midst of a 50-year sleep duration decline. Sleep deprivation can lead to less efficient learning, increased emotionality, more anxiety, and a less efficient brain. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, you've probably heard me talk about sleep and how much I love and cherish my sleep. Like seriously guys, I love sleep so much. I think it is probably one of the best and easiest things that you guys can do for yourselves. So when I heard this statistic, I knew that the next habit I tried to build had to try and combat it in some way. So for the next 30 days, I'm going to be having no blue light exposure for up to an hour before I go to bed. Instead, I'm going to be reading for that hour before I go to sleep. So it is the first official night of this challenge. I'm settled into bed with a book. My electronics are all hung up, everything's off. I'm ready to just go ahead and read for the next hour and a half or so until I fall asleep. I gave myself an hour and 45 minutes to fall asleep because I like having like 8 hours of sleep. I'm kind of like really picky about that sort of stuff. But basically in the next hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, I'm going to fall asleep reading. No sooner than an hour though, that's kind of like my rule of thumb to live by here, and I will keep you guys posted throughout the next 30 days about any changes to my dreams or my lifestyle habits or anything of that nature. I chose this habit because it so perfectly coincides with my current ideology and wants. It gets me off my phone and it gets me to prioritize being on my phone less. It gets me a better night's sleep and it helps me get through my ever-growing pile of books that I have. One could say it's a win-win-win. This is that ever-growing book pile that I was talking about. And yes, I organized them in order of what I would like to read, starting here, ending down there. Don't judge me. A study done in 2019 revealed that 61% of adults check their phone within 30 minutes of going to bed, which I'm sure has greatly increased, being that, we're living through a global pandemic that has heavily increased our reliance on technology. So how exactly does blue light, which by the way is the light that your phone, laptop, tablets, even your TV emit, how does it affect our sleep? Well, for starters, it suppresses melatonin release. Yes, melatonin, like those gummies that you've seen pretty much everywhere now. But what is melatonin? Melatonin is the hormone in your body that is directly related to controlling your circadian rhythm, aka your go to sleep and wake up cycle. This also increases the amount of time that it takes for you to fall asleep. Blue light also reduces the time that you spend in your different sleep stages, in your slow wave stage and your rapid eye movement stage, or REM stage. I'm sure you've heard of it. These stages are both so vital for cognitive function. An REM sleep stage has also been tied directly to your creative and problem-solving skills portions of your brain. So not getting enough of either one of these stages is going to leave you feeling groggy next morning and also give you a harder time concentrating on things. So we are on day 15 through this habit building challenge here. So far so good. I haven't missed a single beat. I've actually been reading an hour and a half, 2 hours before I go to bed, just to kind of really fully get myself de-worked for the day, I guess. Just kind of get myself into a state to where I am ready to sleep, ready to go to bed. It has been really beneficial for me as far as feeling sort of stressed out, I guess, about being on my phone. I felt a lot less tied to my phone than I normally do. I've also still been doing the habit of listening to the podcast in the morning or not being on my phone right when I wake up. So I think the two of those sort of combating together have really helped me not be as tied to my phone as I once was. So putting my phone away an hour and a half, 2 hours before I go to bed, I don't feel tied to it, or I don't feel inclined to check it every time, which is really beneficial for me. It's really moving in the right direction, I think. But on top of that too, I had a stack of books that I had mentioned from the beginning that I really wanted to get done reading, and so reading an hour or 2 hours before bed each night has helped too. And also now that I've been interested in books, I found myself throughout the day, if I ever have downtime, I'm I should just read, and so it's been beneficial in that aspect too. Our smartphones and the social medias we love are designed to keep us hooked and engaged longer. Yes, I know you probably saw this coming. It would not be a typical Tasha Luna video if I didn't touch on the negatives of our phones in general. Being on your phone before bed not only postpones your actual bedtime because of the addictive properties, but when you finally do set your phone down and try to fall asleep, you'll notice that you're left feeling more active and awake than you were before. This ties back into the actual addictive qualities that are built within our smartphones and our social medias that we're on. In short, everything nowadays, from notifications to our social medias in general, trigger a dopamine release in our body. This release also suppresses the production and the release of melatonin. Boom! Full circle, baby!
You're finished!
It is day 30. I've made it 30 days, or technically 30 nights, just about, with reading an hour before I go to bed and having no blue light being emitted up to an hour before I fall asleep, and it's been honestly super beneficial. It is currently 7:30 on day 30, so I'm about to turn in for the night, put my phone on the charger, playing up my watch, and read for the last hour and a half before I fall asleep. But it really has been a super beneficial habit that I've built. Like, for one, I've definitely noticed that I fall asleep a lot quicker. Like, I'll literally, like, when it's time for me to go to bed, I put my book on my counter and I close my eyes, and like within a minute, like tops, like I'm asleep. And so that's been really nice. Like, I don't have to like toss and turn and like think of like ways to fall asleep. It just happens. So that's been beneficial. But at the same time too, like, I mean, I've always like wanted to get back into reading. Like, I've bought a lot of books that were interesting. I just never had the time, or never gave myself the time, I guess, throughout the day to read them. And so having this habit really helped me like get the chance to actually read them and really make time to reading them. I do want to continue doing this habit in my life, like long term, just because it has been super beneficial for me. I've also had like a lot less time spent on my phone. Like, I've been a lot more intentional in general in my life right now recently about like how much time I'm spending on my phone. But I think having this at night too helps, because I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything and I have to check my phone right before I go to bed. Like, I don't feel that tie to it. So I think it's been super beneficial for that as well. I challenge you guys to try this out, maybe for like 7 days, maybe for 30 days, but try it out and see if it helps you at all. See if you guys take melatonin gummies, try it out for like a week, see if it helps your sleep at all. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If it does, comment down below, or if you do try it out, let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for coming along the 30 days with me, and I will see you guys with another video next Sunday. Bye!